During halftime of the spring game, Baker Mayfield will be immortalized in Norman with a statue in Heisman Park joining 5 other Sooner legends. But where does he sit in the pantheon of elite talent that's come through the program? In this video, we take a look back at the legacy Baker Mayfield built at OU and decide if he makes the Sooners Mount Rushmore. Let's start with how he got to Norman. Baker attended Lake Travis High School in Austin, Texas, a school that had churned out multiple Division I quarterbacks, including Todd Reesing and Garrett Gilbert. Over his 2 years as a starter, Lake Travis went 25-2 and won a 4A state title. Baker would finish his high school career with over 6,000 passing yards, 67 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. Despite these numbers, he was not a highly sought-after recruit, finishing with a 3-star rating. Despite getting offers from schools including Rice, Florida Atlantic, and New Mexico, Baker took a chance, walking on at Texas Tech. Expected to start the season as a backup, an injury to the forecasted starter Michael Brewer threw Baker to the Wolves from day one, and he didn't miss a beat, leading Tech to a 5-0 start to the season before an injury sidelined him. With Mayfield out, a fellow freshman Davis Webb took over at quarterback before Baker stepped back in as a starter to finish the year. Over 8 total games at Tech, Baker finished with 2,300 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. Despite winning Big 12 Offensive Newcomer of the Year, Tech coach Cliff Kingsbury hadn't committed to awarding Baker a scholarship. There were also communication issues between Baker and his coach after he'd gotten hurt, which added to the growing tension. It was time to move on, and Baker took another chance, enrolling as a walk-on at Oklahoma in 2014. He would have to sit out the 2014 season due to NCAA transfer eligibility rules, but finally got the chance to play in 2015 and didn't disappoint. Baker beat out Trevor Knight to be the starting quarterback to begin the season. After an expected dominating performance over Akron in his first game as a Sooner, which saw Baker throw for nearly 400 yards and 3 touchdowns, the first true test came against Tennessee at Neyland Stadium. Despite a slow start, Baker turned it on late and helped erase a 17-point deficit to win the game in double OT. Outside of an unexpected loss to Texas, Baker and the Sooners won the remainder of their regular season games, including beating 3 straight top 15 teams on the way to winning the Big 12 following a victory over Oklahoma State in a top 10 showdown in Stillwater. Baker finished the year with 3,700 yards, 36 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions, landing him 4th place in Heisman voting. Oklahoma earned a spot in the college football playoff, but unfortunately got bounced by Clemson in the first round. Before the 2016 season began, Oklahoma received some good news. Initially, it looked like Baker's time in Norman would be done at the end of the year, as he had lost a year of eligibility due to transferring within the conference. However, the Big 12 made a rule change to allow walk-ons without written scholarship offers from their original schools to transfer within the conference without losing eligibility. And since Baker had never received a written scholarship offer from Tech, he was good to play both in 2016 and 2017. The 2016 season started off with high expectations. A number 3 ranked Sooner squad led by a Heisman candidate quarterback surrounded with talent. However, the season couldn't have gotten off to a worse start. Oklahoma lost 2 of its first 3 games, including a neutral site matchup against Houston and a beatdown at home against Ohio State. Going into the 4th game of the year, the Sooners were unranked and things weren't looking good. That's when the tides turned. Oklahoma reeled off 10 straight wins, including 4 straight ranked opponents to end the season. Throughout the win streak, Baker put on some absolute clinics, including a 350-yard 4-touchdown game against Kansas State, a 330-yard 4-touchdown game against Iowa State, and a 550-yard 7-touchdown game against Texas Tech, where I'm pretty sure both teams left the defense on the bus. Oklahoma won the Big 12 once again, clinching it against Oklahoma State in Norman. Baker improved across the board, throwing for nearly 4,000 yards, 40 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. Both him and wide receiver D.D. Westbrook were finalists for the Heisman Trophy, with Baker finishing 3rd in voting. Despite missing the college football playoff, the Sooners finished the season strong with a win over Auburn in the Sugar Bowl. The 2017 season would look a little different as Bob Stoops had retired and given the keys to the program to former offensive coordinator Lincoln Riley. However, Baker and the Sooners still started the season ranked number 7 with their eyes set on a national championship. The largest challenge of the year would come in Game 2 with a visit to Columbus and the number 2 ranked Buckeyes. However, this time around, Baker had his revenge. throwing for nearly 400 yards and 3 touchdowns in a 31-16 win. This led to one of my favorite Baker Mayfield moments, the flag plant. Oklahoma did stumble early in the year, unexpectedly losing to Iowa State, but came out of that game on another tear, winning all of their remaining regular season games. It felt like nearly every game had a bit of extra chippiness to it, which was personified during a road game against Kansas. It started with a refusal to shake hands, included a late hit, some trash talking, a grab, and finished with a 41-3 beatdown. The 2017 season also featured the return of the Big 12 title game, which further cemented Oklahoma's college football playoff status after a 41-17 win over number 10 TCU. The 2017 season was by far Baker's best. Over 4,600 yards, 43 touchdowns, and only 6 interceptions. That's when the awards started flowing in. Manning, Maxwell, Walter Camp, Davey O'Brien, AP Player of the Year, capped off with a Heisman Trophy. Oklahoma came into the college football playoff ranked number 2 facing the Georgia Bulldogs and unfortunately fell short in double overtime. Baker's career numbers were off the charts. 14,607 yards, 131 touchdowns, and 30 interceptions. In his final 2 seasons, he led the nation in pass completion percentage, passing yards per attempt, and passing efficiency rating. Needless to say, this puts him all over the NCAA career record books. 7th in career passing yards, 4th in passing touchdowns, 7th in passing efficiency rating, 5th in total yards, and 2nd in touchdowns. When it comes to Sooner history, Baker also has a strong showing. 2nd in passing yards, touchdowns, and completions, and 3rd in completion percentage and efficiency. So at the end of the day, where does Baker Mayfield sit amongst Sooner legends? He did just about everything you could ask from a quarterback. He was electric on the field, a passionate and fierce leader, played 3 years in the program, and had the numbers to back it up, all while being one of the top 4 players in the nation each season. The only mark on his resume is unfortunately a large one. He was never able to lead Oklahoma to a national championship. Despite all the playmakers he had on offense, and the stellar offensive lines he had protecting him, at the end of the day, defense wins championships, and Oklahoma was never able to put together a competent defense to help the offense out over the 3 years Baker spent in Norman. You can't call him a national champion. You can put him amongst the elite players in Oklahoma history, and I think there's a good argument that he lands somewhere in the top 4 on OU's Mount Rushmore. But I want to hear from you, so let me know in the comment section where you believe Baker Mayfield ranks all time in Sooner history. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps me out a bunch. Check out this video here, and as always, have a great day and see y'all at the next one.